This is a picture of a fence. It's a fancy photograph. It leaves the viewer defenseless. Out of all the pictures here, I would pick it as my favourite. Okay, I'm done. No more fence puns. Picture of a sailing ship on a windy day. Dark room. Hey, Falcon, look! What? Just an easel. No, look at what's on the easel. Oh, wow, this must be a copy of the photograph from the evening of the murder. There's no question about it. I see a housemaid named Cataline, and I see that Senor Poitrois, Cataline's father. So what should we do? Do we just take it? We should take it. It's evidence. We've come this far, we may as well borrow it. Is there anything else we need to do here? So that actually looks to be evidence that this Baron fellow actually wasn't there while they were taking the picture. I think that's everything there. I think we're done snooping. Let's get out of here before we draw further attention to ourselves. Sounds good to me. Uh-oh. Oh mon dieu, what happened to my door? Tell the truth, lie. He's a lawyer. Seems logical. Am I role-playing as a lie? Like, because, I mean, I don't... Maybe you can get in if you wait. If you don't break in, he turns up and lets you in. I may have lost the opportunity. Let's lie. Some kids did it. Little weasel types. We saw them. Yeah, weasels. They were all like, let's break into this art guy's house. And we were like, no, weasels, you cannot do that, because that would be illegal. And then they were like, we chased them off. That's the important thing. Well, thank you, I suppose. Let's make a move. Trial day's approaching fast. Right, let's go. I might have ruined our opportunity to maybe question him. And I assume it seems like you can't go back to some of these places. I kind of would like to go back here, though. Falcon, it's the trial day. Stop messing around. You need to head to the Hawk House already. I was just... No, we're going to be late. Okay. So it looks like there's never a chance to go back to places you've already gone to. Falcon and Sparrowson stand inside the marble portico of the Palais de Justice, awaiting the opening of the Tribunal de Grande Instance. Are you nervous, Falcon? Yes. Of course I'm nervous. We're woefully underprepared for this case. 2 days! We only had 2 days to prepare. How are we expected to get anything done in that time frame? Calm your feathers, Falcon. We can do this. Monsieur Falcon, Petit Sparrowson, is there anything you need me to do? No, we've got a handle on things. Falcon was just telling me how confident he was feeling about this case. That's wonderful. I just know you two will pull through. Let's move it, fellas. I'll be watching from inside. Do your best for me, Monsieur Falcon. We will. Are we ready? Yes, we're ready. As if we'll ever be. Alright, settle down, everyone. Settle down. Is everybody here? J.J. Falcon, present. The defence is ready, Your Honour. Rupert Ravington, present. The readiest prosecution, Your Honour. Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, gosh, where are my notes? Ha! I knew it. Knew what? Rupert and I went to Paris Law School together. He was in all of my classes. Oh, was he smart? Pfft, no. He always scored the second worst marks in the class. I can only assume that he bumbled through the final exams on the look of his 2 rabbit's feet. Unless he's improved considerably, he might already have this trial in the bag. That's good to know. But say, Sparrowson, if Rupert scored the second lowest marks, who scored the lowest? I choose to exercise my right to not self-incriminate. Oh, here it is. The prosecution is ready, Your Honour. Are the jury all present? All present and accounted for, Your Honour. Hey, Falcon, I thought there were only 6 members of the jury for cases like this. Why do I count 8? Oh, those 2 birds with the funny hats are assessors, the associate judges. Everything seems to be in order, so let us begin. The court is now in session for the trial of Dame Cataline de Miao. Prosecution, please call your first witness to the stand. Of course, sure. Are we ready? Okay, I choose to call the officer in charge of the murder investigation, Inspector Volerti, to the witness stand. Inspector Volerti, please approach the stand and recite the oath. As you will, Your Honor. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Monsieur, no, Inspector, please state your name and occupation for the record. My name is Inspector Just Volerti. I'm a servant to the law, a scourge of the gutter rats that plague this city. I've enforced the law for over 20 years, and I shall continue until I bring the infamous Viridian killer to justice. My path begins 18 years ago. Let's stick to the questions, Inspector. Of course, Your Honor. Oh, great. I was hoping we could have one of these bumbling, cuddly officers instead we're stuck with a lawful goody two-shoes. I bet this guy would turn in his own mother if he saw her littering. So, Inspector, is it true that you're the lead investigator on this case? That is correct. I was also among the first to arrive at the scene of the crime. Then perhaps you could walk us through what you witnessed upon your arrival? Absolutely. Just after 7:30, we are alerted and brought to the scene by the housemaid of Baron Ragoy. At the scene of the crime, we found Dame Cataline de Miao. She was standing over the corpse of Monsieur Grenouille, with his blood on her paws. Well, that sounds like an open and shut case, in my humble opinion. No more questions, Your Honor. But bloodied paws? Nobody told me that. Keep it together, Falcon. You're about to be given the opportunity to cross-examine the witness. That's your opportunity to find flaws in the inspector's testimony. Of course. I know this. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Falcon. Cross-examine the witness to find flaws in his testimony. Select the key phrase that you find suspicious, and Falcon will press the witness for information. Ask the right questions to bring the truth to light. Avoid pressing for pointless details. The judge and jury don't like having their time wasted. Select a statement to question. So the housemaid, scene of the crime. We know that's true. So blood on her paws is the only thing there that we're kind of like, hang on, that seems a bit dodgy. Inspector, you say Dame Cataline had blood on her paws. Correct. Blood clung to her fur like guilt to a convict. How much blood was there? Because there weren't any paw marks or anything. How much blood was there on the lady's paws, Inspector? Enough for it to be clear she dirtied her hands on the victim's body. We noticed blood under the suspect's nails, around her fingertips, and even a little around her mouth. Her mouth? How vile! Inspector's answer seems pretty definitive. Do you have another question about the blood on her paws? Yes. Whose blood was it? Whose blood was it? Ah, what a question. It was Monsieur Grenouille's, of course. How can you be so sure? I object. This line of questioning is absurd. There was only one murder victim that night, Falcon. The blood on Dame Cataline's paws could have only belonged to one person, Monsieur Grenouille. Judge, Falcon's trying to delay the trial by asking pointless questions. Yes, it's the stake. I'm afraid the prosecution may have a point, Mr. Falcon. Do you have any reason to suspect the blood belonged to someone other than Monsieur Grenouille? I do, Your Honor. Actually, I have more than suspicion. I have evidence that the blood on Dame Cataline's paws had nothing to do with the murder. This is foolish time wasting for Falcon. If the blood on Dame Cataline's paws didn't come from the victim, where did it come from? The stake. On the evening of the murder, Dame Cataline ate a bloody rare steak. Is this true, Monsieur Rabbington? Well, I am, in a manner of speaking, I suppose steak may have been on the menu. Then, Inspector, would you acknowledge the possibility the blood on the lady's paws did not belong to the victim, but to the steak? Well, Wait, don't answer that, Inspector. It is a possibility. No! Intriguing, pretty convincing. You're getting a little favour with the jury. Maybe I'd trigger that for you. So, Inspector Volerti, is it possible that you arrested an innocent bystander simply for being a messy eater? No, now hold on just 1 minute, Falcon. You're overlooking something quite crucial. Dame Cataline is an elegant bourgeois kitten. She was no doubt brought up with flawless etiquette and perfect table manners. At the banquet, she would have eaten the steak with a fork in her left hand and a knife in her right, like any proper, civilized animal. How could she have possibly gotten blood on her hands with such good manners? Oh, that is a good question. Or at least, it would be at any ordinary dinner banquet. But as it happened, something was missing from that particular banquet. Something that forced Dame Cataline to eat with her paws. The missing silverware. Dame Cataline was forced to eat steak with her paws because the silverware of the household had been previously stolen. Stolen? I don't recall any mention of that in the police report. We weren't aware of anything missing from the Rogoy residence when we performed the initial investigation. As it happened, Baron Rogoy approached us about this very subject last night. Oh. Oh, what a twist. Gained a bit more favour. What is the meaning of all this? Bloody steak, misplaced silverware? Inspector, was your investigation so lax you overlooked these basic facts in your initial report? Lax? My investigation? Judge, I assure you I'm the most thorough investigative officer on the force. Then it is amazing that the Parisian police managed to solve any crimes at all. Well, they're merging anyway, aren't they? Oh dear. Be on your way, Inspector. Please do a little inspecting for our next case. Fine. So be it, Monsieur. Until next time. Prosecutor, I trust your next witness is ready. Yes, of course, Your Honour. I call up, Monsieur Rabinio, the photographer who attended the banquet on the night of the murder. Monsieur Rabinio, please approach the stand, recite the oath. I can't remember his voice. How does it go? I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. It's the same voice as last time. A little cliché, to be perfectly honest. Could the witness please introduce himself for the court record? As if anybody in this court doesn't immediately recognise me. I am the great Monsieur Rabinio, cutting-edge photographer and visionary. I don't just take people's pictures, I capture their very essence. Je suis l'artiste. Tu es une pipe. That's completely nonsensical. You may have seen my works in the hip magazines Le Branché or C'est Chouette. I can send you tweets if you like. What on earth is a tweet? Bird-to-bird communication. Come on, Falcon, it's the 19th century. Get with the times already. Yes, your works are very impressive, Monsieur Rabinio, but let's get down to business. Could you tell us your activities, what you are on the night? What? Could you tell us your activities? Could you tell us what your activities were on the night of the murder? Very well, I was hired by Baron Rogoy to capture the evening's events. I arrived at 7 in the evening, I pointed my camera and captured the beauty of the banquet in one fantastic photograph. Then I billed Baron Rogoy and left. Like a true artist. And, with regards to the photograph itself, who did your photograph? I thought you might ask. I brought a copy so you could see all for yourself. Oh, very good. Let's take a closer look. That's not the one we have. And the clock doesn't have hands. My word, this is an exquisite picture, isn't it? So let's see, who do we have here? In the middle we see Baron Rogoy, the lion who hosted the event. On the left we see Seigneur Pourtois de Miao, the father of the defendant, Dame Cataline. And finally we see the housemaid, Coutine Duhot, who I suspect may have snuck into the picture uninvited. As you can see, two people are clearly absent from the photograph. The first is our victim, Monsieur Grenouille. The second is the defendant herself, Dame Cataline de Miao. Quite suspicious, wouldn't you agree? Just a moment, Monsieur Rabbington, this proves nothing. So the defendant and the victim were not photographed with the others. That doesn't mean that they were in the garden together at that point. Hold your horses, Falcon, I'm not done yet. The prosecution may continue. But behind the photograph subjects, we see a wall clock with the time set at 7:30. Now, why is that time significant? Well, as Inspector Valerti told us earlier, this was the exact time the murder took place. Do you see, Falcon? Every suspect has an alibi at the time of the murder, save for Dame Cataline herself. Hey, Falcon, that photograph doesn't seem right. It looks different than the one we borrowed from Rubinio's studio. I see it too. Our photograph shows Coutine Duhot, Dame Cataline, and Seigneur Pourtois. But Monsieur Rubinio's photograph shows Baron Rogoy, where Dame Cataline should be standing. If we assume only one photograph was taken, this demonstrates that one of the photographs must have been edited in some way. You should just slam that evidence down and be like, BAM! Inconsistency! This whole courtroom is out of order. Case closed. I can't do that. Well, I suppose you could be a little more delicate with your words. No, I mean, I can't do that because our evidence was illegally obtained. If I were to present it, Monsieur Rubinho would ask how we acquired it and the whole trial could derail. Oh, no. Right, so I should have waited. Or I should have asked him... oh well. In a worst-case scenario, I could lose my legal license and we would be arrested for theft. Oh, well, we don't want that. No, we don't. I should tread lightly. Your Honour, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. Very well, the defence may proceed. It's a waste of time, if you ask me. Photographs are rock-solid evidence. The clock. I think that's what we've got to go with. Oh. Right, well, none of this is wrong. So it's one photo, then I build Baron Rogoyan left. But, no, but we know it's wrong because of the missing clock hands. Can I go with the photograph? Let's take a closer look at this photograph. I see a mistake in the photograph. Just to clarify, Mr. Rubinho, photographs are a direct reflection of reality, are they not? And that is correct. The photographic process leaves no room for bias or inaccuracies. That is most curious, because I see a mistake. A mistake? Impossible! I just told you, monsieur. The camera is perfect. Unbiased device. The photographs it produces are flawless. Falcon, I'm not seeing any mistakes. Perhaps you could be more specific. Certainly. It contains a mistake. The clock. The clock in this photograph. There's something not right about it. Well, isn't that convenient? The defense sees something wrong with the key piece of evidence that implicates his client. Don't give me that cocky tone, Monsieur Rabbington. I have evidence that there's something wrong with the clock in that picture.